So far in this course we have learned about recursion and backtracking, which is the foundation for dynamic programming. Now it's time to dive deeper into the concepts of dynamic programming. So what is dynamic programming? Dynamic programming is a method for solving optimization problems efficiently by breaking a problem into its smaller subproblems and solving each subproblems exactly once optimally. So what does it do? It stores the result of subproblems that it encounters during the runtime of a problem and reuse them whenever the same subset of subproblems appears again and again. So in short, we can say that dynamic programming is a combination of recursion and caching. Now, what are the problem types that can be solved using dynamic programming? So generally a problem that can be solved using dynamic programming should have two properties. Number one, optimal substructure, and number two, overlapping subproblems. So what is optimal substructure? A problem is said to have an optimal substructure property if the optimal solution of the problem can be obtained by solving its subproblems optimally. What is overlapping subproblems? So a problem is said to have overlapping subproblems property when we have to solve the same subproblems again and again to solve the problem. To understand these concepts, let us take an example of classical Fibonacci number. So what are Fibonacci numbers? The first Fibonacci number is 0 and the second Fibonacci number is 1. We can compute the third Fibonacci number by adding the first Fibonacci number and the second Fibonacci number, that is 0 plus 1, that results in 1. Similarly, we can compute the fourth Fibonacci number by adding the second Fibonacci number and the third Fibonacci number, that is 1 plus 1, that yields 2. Similarly, we can compute the later part of the Fibonacci numbers. So we can say that the recurrence relation of Fibonacci numbers can be obtained by, if we want to compute the nth Fibonacci number, then we should have n minus 1th Fibonacci number and n minus 2th Fibonacci numbers. So let us have a look at recursion tree of the Fibonacci numbers. So let us consider that we want to compute the 5th Fibonacci number. So to compute 5th Fibonacci number, we should have 4th Fibonacci number and 3rd Fibonacci number. Again, to compute 4th Fibonacci number, we should have the 3rd Fibonacci number. Now we can see that we have to compute 3rd Fibonacci number twice in order to get the 5th Fibonacci number. So this is a concept of overlapping subproblems. Now again, to consider 3rd Fibonacci number, we should have Fibonacci number 2 and Fibonacci number 1. Now we know that the first Fibonacci number is 0 and the second Fibonacci number is 1. So these will return. So the third Fibonacci number can be obtained by adding the Fibonacci number 2 and Fibonacci number 1, that is 1 plus 0, 1. Similarly, the fourth Fibonacci number is 2 and the fifth Fibonacci number is 3. Now we can see that to compute 5th Fibonacci number, we have to compute 3rd Fibonacci number twice, 2nd Fibonacci number thrice, and the 1st Fibonacci number twice. So this is a small recursion tree. What if we have a big number? This recursion tree will be more repetitive. So to overcome this issue, we have dynamic programming. Now we know the limitation of using a regular recursion. That is, if the recursion tree is too deep, it will lead to a Stack Overflow. So dynamic programming is the way to enhance or optimize our solution. So there are two ways in which we can implement dynamic programming. The first approach is top-down method, that is also called memoization method, and second approach is called bottom-up method, that is also called table filling method or tabulation. So what do we do in top-down method? So top-down method uses recursion and caching. So every time a recursive call is made, we will check two conditions, that if we have already solved the subproblem or not, and if we have solved, then we will directly return the result of that subproblem, and if we didn't solve the problem previously, then we solve the subproblem and store the result of that subproblem for future use and then return the result. So this is the Java version of the code of Fibonacci number using top-down approach of dynamic programming. Here we have used two parameters, a number integer n that denotes the nth Fibonacci number, and a cache memory that is generally a 1D array named memory. So first of all, we have checked our base conditions, that is if n is equal to 0 or n is equal to 1, then we will return 0 and 1 respectively. Now if our base conditions doesn't match, we will check that if we have solved the sub problems previously or not, that is if my nth index of the memory is empty or not, and if it is not empty, we will return that number without solving the problem. If that is not the case, we will compute that Fibonacci number using our recurrence relation, and then we will save the number in our memory, and then we return the result. This is the Python version of the code. So in the next lecture, we will see a step-by-step approach for dynamic programming. Thank you for watching.